So I have a acquaintance, man who lives about a mile or two down the road. And there's a lot of people out there who want to talk about, as they say, the book of Enoch. Now, I personally don't believe everything that people tell me as fact. It is dangerous to do so, and I hope those of you, don't fall into that trap either. So they claim that angels somehow fornicated with women to create giants, and this day from the book of Enoch. Well, so when they go and read the book of Enoch, it becomes abundantly clear that it does not match with the words of the prophets. Doesn't match with Moses and the prophets, the Tanakh and the prophets. But I'm going to make it very simple and very easy to debunk one of the greatest fallacies in this fake book of Enoch, and that is concerning what is written in Genesis. Now, if you read the King James Bible, it says, "There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bore children unto them. The same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown." Well, you got to dig a little deeper, folks. Let's first of all go to Strong's Concordance, and then we'll go to a few other scriptures. Where was it? Oh, yeah. "And it came to pass that when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them." We've got to be very careful here how we speak. "And the sons of Elohim saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful." Tob is beautiful. "And they took wives of all in which they chose." Also, you see the narrative changes when you read the actual text. They married anybody they wanted, kind of like they do today. Now, who are the sons of Elohim versus the daughters of men? Well, if we go to what Paul said in 1 Corinthians, you'll begin to have a little insight of the truth here. Make sure that man need ought not cover his head. "For the man is in the image and the glory of Jehovah, but the woman is in the glory of the man." The implication is here, sons of Elohim, men, sons of Elohim, and women, daughters of men. Let me read it again for you. "For a man indeed ought not cover his head, forasmuch he is in the image and the representation and the glory of Jehovah. But the woman is in the glory of the man." This is how you read and interpret Genesis 6 and verse 2, and the sons of Elohim saw the daughters of men. Hello. This is really simplistic here, folks. This is not difficult to understand. The problem is with mankind is they try to make things difficult to blind their own eyes and to blind the eyes of the others. They don't want to know the truth. They always want to lie. That were fair and took wives of all whom they chose. Any. Which means the sons of Seth. There were two lines. There were two groups of people. There were the children of Seth and there were the children of Cain. Cain was cursed, which apparently brought a curse upon his children. And I have to go. Seth was in the image of his brother of Adam. Watch this. Now, Genesis 5 and verse 3. And Adam lived 130 years, and he begat a son in his own likeness after his image. What is that supposed to mean? They almost looked like his twin, Seth. You've seen children that look just, boys that look just like their daddy. I've had people tell me that I look just like my dad. And called his name Seth. That implies that Cain did not look like his father. There were two different bloodlines already. Now, they say that angels fornicated with women. Is that possible? Are you ready for an answer? Verse 23 of Matthew 22. The same day came to him the Sadducees, which say that there is no resurrection, and asked him, saying, Master, Moses said, if a man die having no children, his brother shall marry his wife, raise up the seed unto his brother. Now there were with us 7 brethren, and the first, when he had married a wife, deceased, and having no issue, left his wife unto his brother. Likewise the second also, and the third unto the 7th. And the last of all, the woman died also. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife shall she be of the 7? For they all had her. Not Jesus. Not Jesus. Not Esau's, a female. But Yehoshua. Yehoshua answered and said to them, You do err, not knowing the Scripture. Not knowing the Scripture? Well, they didn't have what they call the New Testament today. This was in, all these Scriptures are Moses and the prophets. You do not know the Scripture, nor the power of Jehovah. Because in the resurrection, or those that are resurrected from the dead, not to those who are still alive at the last trump. Only those who are resurrected from the dead, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of Jehovah in heaven. They will no longer reproduce, because the angels cannot reproduce. Marriage is for reproduction. It is so easy to debunk lies when you know the scripture. Folks, I don't want to go into the sons of, or the wife of Ham, and how many speculate, and she probably was of the line of Cain. I'm sure there's no doubt about that, but I don't need to go into all that. What I'm doing right now, those of you who are trying to claim that what they call the book of Enoch is actually the book of Enoch, if it does not agree with the words of the prophets, then it is false. Why? Because the words of the prophets are the words that come out of the mouth of Jehovah. And Jehovah and his words agree. Just like what is written here in what was it? Is it in John or is it in Genesis? I don't want to go too far down that route because that's another video. That Jehovah and his words agree. You can't have disagreement coming out of the mouth of one individual. That would make that person a double talker, a two-faced. Now it says there were Nephil. Now the English says giants, and indeed they were large people. How large were they? Well, let's look up the word giants, Nephil. Phonetic spelling, Nephil. What are they? If we dig deep, see, folks, a lot of people, they will just find one word, giant, that's it, and they walk away, not getting context. From Nephal, properly. So the proper usage of Nephil, which comes from the word Nephal, would be a feller, a bully, or a tyrant. Oh! Well, we have those today. Well, they're not large in stature, but what is a feller? What is that? Why, a feller, I did my own research, is essentially a paid mercenary. You know, kind of like what they did with Goliath. Goliath was approximately, he was probably 11 feet tall. Okay? Now, yes, that does make humans of average height kind of, look small. Not quite like grasshoppers. Well, you got to understand, folks, and I might need to go to that scripture. The 10 scouts who said, we saw the sons of Enoch, and to them we were like grasshoppers. If they were telling the honest truth, why then did Jehovah kill them? I may need to go to that scripture. But you want to make sure that you don't get one word and not the others, a bully or tyrant. A feller would be a mercenary. I'm going to look at Nephal and see what it says. Yes. To fall, to lie down. In other words, one that is who falls. So a feller is somebody who calls somebody else to fall. That would be a mercenary or a killer. A bully or tyrant. Now you have context. Now where was I? Okay. Look like grasshoppers. And folks, remember, there are people living today although they're not 11 feet tall, they do make others look very, very small. There are people like that today, and they're not necessarily of the children of Cain. Numbers 13:33. Nope, right here. So we see the spies were sent to Canaan, and the spies came back. Verse 25, and they returned from searching the land after 40 days. Now, if these giants were part angel, you would think that the giants would have been able to find these scouts, hunt them down, and kill them. Since, after all, they are superior beings with superior intellect. Folks, let's use our brains. And they went and came to Moses and Aaron and all the congregation of the children of Israel unto the wilderness of Paran to Kadesh, and brought back word unto them and unto the congregation, and showed them the fruit of the land. And then they told them, and they said, we came to this land where you sent us, and surely it did flow with milk and honey, and this is the fruit of it. Nevertheless, the people were strong that dwell in the land, and the cities are walled, and they are great cities. And then we saw the children of Enoch, the Canaanites. Canaanites came from Ham. And yes, there are people who say, and probably reasonably so, that Ham's wife was of the line of Cain. The Amalekites dwelt in the land of the south, and the Hittites and the Jebusites, and the Amorites dwelt in the mountains, and the Canaanites lived by the sea and by the coast of Jordan. And Caleb calmed the people before Moses and said, let us go up at once and possess it, for we are able to overcome it. But the men that went up with him said, we are not able to go against this people, because they are stronger than we. This was a generalization. Now, notice the conversation here. Did the 10 scouts in the first statement, did they mention the children of Anak as making them look like grasshoppers? No. What we had here was they gave the first testimony, the 10. Then Caleb gave his testimony, which countered their testimony. He says, we are able to overcome it. And then the 10 men went up the ante. They upped the ante. They said, we are not able to go up against this people, because they are stronger than we. And they brought up an evil report of the land which you search of the children of Israel, saying, the land through which we have gone to search it, and the land that eats up the inhabitants thereof. Huh? Is a land that eats up the... They lied. That was a lie. They brought back the fruit of the land. This is a land that eats up the inhabitants thereof, and all the people that we saw therein are men of great stature. So he ups the ante. Let me see. Midah. Great measure, status, and size. That was not true. He went and said, they first said the sons of Anak were there. Then they said everyone was giants. That was a lie. It is a land that eats up the inhabitants thereof, and all the people that we saw in it are men of great stature. And there we saw the giants, the son of Anak, which came from Nephil. The Nephil. What were they? Well, they were large, but they were fellers, tyrants, and bullies. Just like we read. And then we are in our own sight as grasshoppers, so we were in their sight. So when Caleb said, we can take this land, they're like, oh, no, we're gonna embellish. The fish was this big, and now it's this big. What happened? They lied. They caused the people to rebel and say, would to Elohim that we have died in the land of Egypt or in the wilderness. And why has Jehovah brought us up to this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be a prey? Were it not be better for us to return into Egypt? And they said unto one another, let us make a captain, let us go back to Egypt. And Moshe and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly on the congregation of the children of Israel. And Yehoshua, not Joshua, Yehoshua, the son of Nun, or Yehoshua ben Nun is what it should say, and Caleb ben Yefuneh, which were them that search the land, ripped their clothes. Why? Because people would rather believe the lie than believe the truth. And there are going to be some of you who listen to this video today after hearing proof that those who claim to have the book of Enoch and they do not are liars. You're still going to believe the lie rather than the truth, just like the children of Israel did. And they spoke unto all the company of the children of Israel, the land which we passed through to us is exceedingly good land. Why then did the 10 scouts say it is a land that eats up the inhabitants? A land that eats up the inhabitants are like a desert, like Death Valley, or like the wastelands of New Guinea. Now that is a land that eats up the inhabitants thereof. But it is an exceedingly good land, beautiful land. If Jehovah delight in us, he will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land which flows with milk and honey. Only don't rebel against Jehovah, neither fear the people of the land, for they are food for us. And their defense has departed from them. So the 10 scouts lied. They uttered bald-faced, blatant lies. Are you going to do that too? You're going to repeat lies from people of old who love to twist the truth? And Jehovah is with us. Don't fear those people. But the congregation began to stone them with stones, and the glory of Jehovah appeared in the tabernacle of the congregation before all the children of Israel. And Jehovah said unto Moses, how long will this people provoke me, and how long will they err and believe, and don't they believe me for all the signs which I have showed among them? I will smite them with the pestilence and disinherit them. Yep, disinherit them, and I will make of you a greater nation, mightier than they. And Moshe said to Jehovah, then the Egyptian will hear it. For you brought this people in your might from among them, and then they will tell it to the inhabitants of this land. And when they have heard that you, Jehovah, are among this people, and you, Jehovah, have seen face to face, and that your cloud stands up over them, and that you go before them by the time in the pillar of the cloud in the daytime, and in the pillar of fire by night. Now if you will kill all this people like you would one man, then the Gentiles, the Goy, which have heard your fame, will speak, saying, Because Jehovah was not able to bring this people into the land which he swore unto them, therefore he has slain them into the wilderness. And now I beseech you, let the power of Adonai be great according to what you have spoken, saying, Jehovah is long-suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgressions, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquities upon the fathers of the fathers upon the children and the third and fourth generation. Pardon, I beseech you, the iniquity of this people according to your greatness and according to your mercy, as you have forgiven this people from Egypt until now. And Jehovah said, I have pardoned according to your word. But as I live, he swore by his own self, all the earth shall be filled up with the glory of Jehovah, because all those men which have seen my glory and my miracles, which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have tempted me now these 10 times, and have not listened to my voice, surely they shall not see the land which I swore unto their fathers, neither shall any of them that provoke me see it, except, says my servant Caleb, because he has a different spirit with him, and he has followed me fully. And because of that, I will bring him into the land wherein he dwells, wherein he went, and his seed will possess it. So Caleb went to a particular part of the land of Canaan, because he told the truth. His children were going to inherit the land that he walked on. So, at this point in time, it says right here, doubtless you shall not come into this land concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein, except Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, and Yehoshua ben Nun. Now, so at that particular point in time, the rest of the children of Israel would have to wander into the wilderness for 40 years. And then what happened to the scouts? The men which Moshe sent to search the land, and who returned, and made all the congregation to murmur against him by bringing up a slander of the land. You know what slander means, don't you? A defamation, an evil report. It is a lie. Slander, we all know, is a lie. So, were the sons of Enoch, did they make the children of Israel look like grasshoppers? No, they did not. That was a lie. Even those men that brought up the evil report upon the land died by the plague before Jehovah. But Yehoshua ben Nun and Caleb ben Jephunneh, which were of the men that searched the land, they lived still. Then, of course, the children of Israel rebelled again, because they mourned for the men who lied to them. Are you going to believe the lie, or are you going to believe the truth? I told you the truth. Using the scripture, of course. Using the words of Jehovah, of course. Because let all men be liars, and let Jehovah alone be true.